Good afternoon. I'm here today with Chris Kaiser from Elders Helpers. Thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you, Catherine.
Chris, could you tell us what is Elders Helpers?
Well, Elders Helpers is a locally owned, family-owned company that provides housekeeping and home care services to people who would like to stay in their own home as long as they can.
Okay, and one of the things that I saw that Elders Helpers has is what they call a safety net program. And so tell us what a safety net program is and how it's important to the clients that you serve.
Sure. The safety net program is something that I think is fairly unique for Elders Helpers, but it is a number of products that we offer for home safety, such as the personal emergency response systems, which is basically the products that with a touch of a button you can get emergency help right away, and also things like the automated medication devices that remind you to take your medications on time and regularly. And this is a great help for people who may tend to forget to do that.
So when people are calling Elders Helpers, what type of services are they typically looking for themselves or for a loved one?
Well, it's things like housekeeping, or it's things like personal care. Maybe people have difficulty getting dressed in the morning or making meals, keeping the house up. Again, it's generally people who are elderly and have some limitations in terms of mobility, or maybe they've had some chronic disease that prevents them from doing things normally. And having a helper there really makes a big difference.
Right. One thing I know that's unique about Elders Helpers is, when most of the services that you're talking about are what we would call private pay, or people are paying for them. But you have a unique situation that ties you in with the Kent County Senior Millage. Maybe you could tell us more about that.
Right. Well, certainly we have private pay. That's certainly a big part of it. But we also have the advantage of having some of the services are available to low-income residents in Kent County who are, depending upon their eligibility based upon income, would be eligible for either reduced cost or no cost services, including the safety net program.
And one important thing I think is certainly your greatest asset are probably those caregivers, those people who go out and provide that. And you have a rather large number of caregivers.
Yes, we do. I think the number now is over 200. And some of them have been around since the company started in the year 2000, so we have some great retention. And having such a good large group to pull from, we can often service clients if there are changes needed or special circumstances come up, and we can make changes sometimes even at the last minute, which is something we try to do whenever we can.
I noticed too that if someone were to call you and, if my mom all of a sudden has a situation and I need to get care, that there is the ability to get same-day services with Elders Helpers.
If we can, yes, correct.
And you are a client advocate with Elders Helpers.
Right.
Tell us what you do at Elders Helpers, Chris.
Okay, well, I do a variety of things, but as a client advocate, I try to meet with new clients and their families, or potential new clients, to answer questions, make sure they understand what the services are, how we can help, make sure there's a good match there so that everybody's comfortable and it's a win-win situation for everybody all around. Family members, I should mention, are very important to include in that, because often they're the ones who are most concerned about their loved ones, and they need to be involved in that process if possible.
Right. And beyond that service, or the client advocate service that you provide, you also go above and beyond that and do some transporting and...
I do, yes, I do. Occasionally, yes. So I get to meet the clients in their own homes and try to help out wherever I can.
That's maybe one of the benefits, certainly, to having a family-operated and a locally operated company where you get more of that personal service.
Right, right. Some of us wear multiple hats, and that's good.
Right. And so, if someone were considering, the many different home care options that were available, why do you think they would choose Elders Helpers?
Well, I think there's several things that I mentioned already. We have obviously a large pool of caregivers so that we can be flexible with that. We have some good retention. We have some good loyal caregivers that know how to do it. They're very experienced. And the fact that we have a comprehensive group of services, whether it's housekeeping or personal care or nursing services or transportation or this, the PERS program is part of the safety net program.
So if someone, if, for example, we're out of state, if I called my mom and she lived here in Grand Rapids and I recognized that she was having some issues, could I do this all over the phone with you? I could call you and say, my mom is having some difficulties. Could I get someone out there?
It could be done that way. That's obviously not ideal, but when we have to, that's certainly possible. And we are locally a company, but we do service most of Kent County, in fact, even a little bit into the northern counties like Newaygo and Montcalm.
Okay. And so when people come out, what type of commitment do they have to give? Or, are people looking for someone who comes every day, or can they have, maybe they just need a few hours here or there?
Well, that's entirely flexible. We would try to work with the client and their family to figure out what is the best need. Sometimes it may be a couple times a week, maybe for 2-hour segments to do some housekeeping. Sometimes it may be just once a week to provide some transportation. But we also have even 24-hour coverage, full-time coverage. So it's anywhere in between. And with the caregivers we have, we could try to be as flexible as possible to meet the needs of the client.
Right. So any kind of service that these people, especially the elderly people, are needing, you guys seem like you're there to help them all.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, Chris from Elders Helpers, thanks for being with us today.
Well, thank you.